Thank you very much for coming. I know I'm competing with the break, with the coffee. That's really always hard to do. But thanks for taking the time. Yeah, the title is a mouthful, and don't look too much on these words. And what I would like to bring to you is maybe some experience that we at the company have in building partnerships, because we believe the big challenges, the global challenges on our planet, whether it's climate change, hunger, no single organization can do them on their own. So you always need to partner. How big you are, it doesn't matter. You never have enough expertise, enough solutions, and enough knowledge to do it on your own. So that's what I would like to leave you with. And since we're such a small group, so please do not hesitate to just ask questions, because I want to just make it as meaningful as possible for you. Okay? So let's see if the clicker works. So it changes all of this monitor. Yeah, this one is changing, but unfortunately the other one. But maybe let me tell you a little bit about what Bayer does. Maybe the one or the other knows about Bayer. We provide solutions in the areas of agriculture, medicine, but also self-care, so nutrition, macronutrition. Perfect. Now it's working. Thanks. And so we basically offer these solutions and sell our products basically in almost all countries worldwide. We have around 100,000 colleagues working in offices, in labs in 83 countries. Yeah, and I think what is really noticeable is how much we spend on R&D. So we are really a science company. So our vision is science for a better life. That drives us every single day. And that's why we invest so much, and that's why we have such a high portion of our colleagues in the company coming from an academic background. So, and I guess that's why you also know Bayer from. And but our innovation and our R&D is not only focusing on solutions to drive our markets. We believe that our business is not separate. It's our impact generator for a better life and for a better future. So that's why we have set ourselves very ambitious sustainability targets. Natasha in the panel before already mentioned the 100 million smallholder livelihood goal. So that's for us a key ambition, so to increase on a sustainable basis the livelihoods of these 100 million smallholder farmers worldwide, especially in those emerging and developing countries. So that's on the agriculture division, but also on the pharmaceutical and consumer care division. We also focus on helping more than 100 million, especially women and families, to get access to medicine, but also to the knowledge to have a better life. But of course, it's not only about helping on the livelihood side. We also focus a lot on the environmental impact. Since our products, and yesterday there was a report from McKinsey on the sustainability targets of the Fortune 500 companies, and surprisingly, the companies in the agriculture business were the ones that have already set clear, transparent and measurable targets on more than 3 key environmental impact areas. And we set ourselves, and you can see that already even more than that, where we ask people from outside to scrutinize on us on. And I think very noticeable on this path is exactly why we focus on the science and the innovation. Because if you compare the yield and the amount of food that you get out of a field in 1940 to today, I think these numbers are absolutely remarkable. So that, and you can directly relate this to less forest cut, less water used, and less greenhouse gas emission emitted. So these numbers showcase why we do this on every single day. But both the innovation part, the science part, as well as the sustainability part is clearly driven by the digital transformation in our organization. So we put a lot of emphasis And we are quite proud to be the #1 leading provider of digital farming solutions to farmers, big commercial farms, as well as smallholder growers in India. And I think Natasha already mentioned what we do on rice. And we have already brought these direct seeded rice practices, the intermittent wetting and drying, and all these practices and the methane emission reductions. We already brought this to 3,000 farmers in India, and we're currently planning for the next season to double that. And we're currently bringing Nestle in. And that brings me to the way how we do partnerships. And let me give you 3 different examples how we leverage partnerships for a better life. The first one is our food chain partnership community and network. And the rice example is a good one because here we brought in Nestle, we brought in Olam, but we also brought in other innovation leaders with different solutions to make all these good practices happen and get them implemented on the ground. So here we really ensure that we create sustainable impact at scale for the biggest food manufacturers, the biggest traders, but also the biggest food retailers worldwide. And we don't do this only on our own in one-to-one private relationships. We bring in NGOs like Solidaridad, who work on sugarcane in India, but also in Mexico. And we bring in extension services from governments. So for example, ICA, the Inter-American Institute for Agriculture, we're working very closely, for example, on soil health and regenerative agriculture to ensure that we bring the right practices to the farmers that need them. The second example I would like to give you is on our Better Life Farming Alliance. We launched this in 2018 in Washington at the World Bank Spring meeting, where we joined together with innovation leaders on bringing in their different expertise to solve the challenges of smallholders, because smallholders lack access to knowledge. They lack access to inputs, quality inputs. They lack access to markets. So basically, if you go into rural communities and emerging countries, you will see not even infrastructure there. So that's why we need other partners and leaders to join us on this endeavor and to help them. And since 2018, we have launched this whole alliance and initiative across Southeast Asia, India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and we now also want to bring this, and we already brought it into Mexico and into the rest of Latin America because we see so many success with this approach, building an ecosystem of partners that all bring in their innovation capacity to do good. Last but not least, another example how we do partnerships is our way how we do science and research and an open innovation approach. I think here you see that we specifically put those bio-life hubs in those innovation hotspots worldwide, where we identify the right talent, the right research from academy, but also from the right partners from government, where there's an innovation-friendly regulatory environment, but last but not least, also the willingness to invest into sustainable infrastructure. That's where we identify those innovation hotspots, and that's where we invest. And the life science hubs are the first ones to bring in, to get the access to the right talents. And these life hubs is a combination of, on one side, research collaboration space. On the other side, it's an accelerator for startups. And last but not least, it's also an incubator for spin-offs. So developing our own employees, our own scientists and experts to become entrepreneurs and helping them to launch as a launchpad to found their own companies from buyer to the outside. So that's why we are currently in the midst of preparing a launch also in Germany, focusing on sustainable agriculture, so a life hub in Monheim, so the office location where I sit, and I'm quite excited about this as well. So I gave you 3 different examples how we do partnerships and how we leverage partnerships for a mutual success. The underlying open innovation model that drives all partnerships is basically the way how we approach it. Whether we want to get access to the best talent and research worldwide, whether it's the best materials, whether it's the best solutions and service providers, we always look out for those innovation hotspots, identify those, and try to build an innovation ecosystem from scratch. And then based on that, then create those opportunities, not only for us, but for all the partners who are willing to join in. And help them also along the way. And I think that's where we can join a lot of efforts jointly together. So if you think you want to build an innovation hotspot within your geography, in your region or country, and you have already done the homework on the right policies and regulation in place, attracting the right infrastructure investment, that's where we can help you jointly together to find additional partners. Because, as said, nobody can go this on its own. And we clearly believe in that business is the #1 impact generator for a sustainable transformation. Let me leave it for now. I think I jumped a lot of details, I know, but maybe you have, and do not hesitate to ask any questions you have, either about Bayer, our company, what we do, or how we specifically approach certain projects on the ground where we invest.
11,000 strategic collaborations. This is, through the life of the company, not throughout.
And only
2021 for a year.
Only in 1 year.
Oh my God.
And
wow.
Yes, please.
How do you work with the social sector, like NGOs, for example? Do you bring them into your partnerships?
Yes. The Better Life Farming Alliance is a good example. Also, our food chain partnerships, where we start with private-to-private partnerships, and then to reach the scale, especially when it's coming to extension, finding partners on the extension side, the capacity building side, and then we are looking out for those civil society organizations, NGOs, that can help us, that have expertise on the ground and on this step to the last mile. And of course, we have a lot of access to farmers on our own, for sure, but it's always, if you really want to reach millions, and especially in those emerging countries, you need others to join in. And I'm responsible for our BiGAP service program, which is the farmer capacity building. So we're currently launching a regenerative agriculture practice training and app for farmers, also with different internet environment so that they can download those trainings, so small micro video trainings on the field, take them to the field, get agronomic advice with it. So we are quite excited about finding new channels to reach farmers, to change the practices for more sustainable regenerative agriculture ones. Mm-hmm. Yes, so what we can discuss as a follow-up on the different projects where we need additional help, and if that fits, then I would be really happy about it. Any other questions?
Just a comment, I think this is brilliant. We've also been, in India, we've been doing a number of startup challenges, so there are very specific problem statements. We generally work with corporates, and then as per the problem statements, we generally get, startups within India. Now, here what we've just done is a global challenge for assisted devices today, which was just launched. There's another very big one which will be launched at COP, which is going to be a challenge on solar problem statements for Africa. We'll be very happy to explore separately with you if there's something at a global level which we could possibly launch with Bayer.
Yes.
In the coming few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be happy to follow up on this. So we work with the EIT Food here in Europe. It's from the EU. A similar approach, government-driven, where private partners can join into these challenges. We're also working with other private companies. For example, Pinduoduo is a food delivery company in China, an app, a social buying app that grew like hell. We also set up challenges on tomato growing and together with them and Wageningen University. So we really like the way how to approach this, coming from a challenge over then to identify the scale of impact we can generate through it. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Thanks.